American Top 40.
This is Casey Kasem with American Top 40. Halfway up the chart, here's the hottest record in the Top 40. Moved up 17 notches. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show.
Sylvia's mother.
Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show moved 17 notches to number 20. Sylvia's mother.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
And right now, the song by the seven-man group from the Deep South who were discovered by Playboy magazine's cartoonist Shel Silverstein and who appeared with Dustin Hoffman in the movie Who is Harry Kellerman and Why Is He Saying Those Terrible Things About Me? It's a pretty simple, straightforward success story here. Shel Silverstein heard the band play, dug their sound, knew that his friend Dustin Hoffman was getting ready to do a wild new picture, and took the seven musicians to meet the big star and audition for him. Well, Dustin thought they were great and put him in his movie. If you saw the film Who Was Harry Kellerman, etc., you'll remember them as the band who were on stage in the Fillmore East scene, where Shel Silverstein calls Dustin Hoffman up out of the audience to sit in with the group. Well, their first chart song is at number 9 this week. It's called Sylvia's Mother. Here are Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Number 9, Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show and Sylvia's Mother. Then the countdown rolls on.
The hits from coast to coast.
Well, now on American Top 40, I have the latest hit by the group that was discovered by famous cartoonist Shel Silverstein of Playboy magazine. And they got their name from the pirate villain of a famous children's fairy tale, Peter Pan. You see, the seven-man group first got together back in the 70s, and like every group, they looked for an unusual name. It just happened that Ray Sawyer had the strongest image in the band. He was the leader, and he wears an eye patch, not as a gimmick, but as a result of an accident. Well, the patch reminded the guys of Captain Hook. That's how that came about. Then they added a few words like, and the Medicine Show. So it became Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Shortly thereafter, they were discovered by Shel Silverstein, back in '72, who wrote him a couple of big hit songs. Do you remember Sylvia's Mother? And the cover of Rolling Stone? Well, they've shortened their name now to simply Dr. Hook, and they're back at the chart at number 34 with a song called Only 16.
She was only 16.
Dr. Hook with the second Sam Cooke remake. Earlier we heard Tony Orlando and Dawn with Cupid, and this one is Only 16 at number 34 and moving up as the countdown rolls on.
The hits from coast to coast.
This is Casey in Hollywood, and it's time now for the current hit by a popular rock group who like to pull funny stunts at their concerts, like the time they dressed up as a glitter rock band and went on as their own opening act. It happened about a year ago in Copenhagen, Denmark. All 7 members of the group disguised themselves in wild makeup and glitter outfits. Then, billing themselves as Charlie Killem and the Clumps, they trooped on stage and started to play. But they didn't get very far because the audience started to boo when they were just a couple of numbers into their set. And when that didn't get rid of the phony band, the audience began screaming for the concert headliners, Dr. Hook, Dr. Hook. Finally, the band left the stage, changed clothes, and returned as themselves. They played nearly their whole set without revealing the hoax. And then during the middle of their next to last number, the group's leader, Ray Sawyer, walked off stage, changed clothes, and returned in the same disguise he'd worn earlier as a member of the Clumps. Well, the audience realized immediately that they'd been had, but they loved it anyway. And this week, their favorite group is up to number 8 on American Top 40 with their latest hit. Here's Dr. Hook and Only 16.
She was only 16.
Dr. Hook and his third top 10 hit at number 8, that's Only 16. 7 big ones to number 1 and counting them down.
The hits from coast to coast.
Well, now we're up to the song by the group who struggled for years to make it to the top, finally became rich and famous, then 1 year later found themselves at the bottom of the heap and bankrupt. They're the San Francisco rock group whose hit records and sellout concerts had carried them to that first peak of success back in the spring of '73. They even got their picture on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, just about the time they were hitting the top 10 with a song called The Cover of Rolling Stone. The group, of course, is Dr. Hook. But a year later, that ladder they had climbed to the heights just turned to dust. They came tumbling down and landed hard. They'd piled up the heavy debts that go along with being a star act, but there was no money coming in to pay them. Their records stopped hitting, and their concerts dried up. Their recording contract was canceled. Their only way out was bankruptcy. But during that low period, every one of the 7 guys in the band stuck it out. Then Capitol Records gave them a contract with a time limit, and most of it ran out with a single called Millionaire. It didn't make a penny. Then, with Capitol getting impatient, they released a remake of Sam Cooke's old hit Only 16. And that was Dr. Hook's lifesaver. It smashed into the top 10 in the spring of '76. A few months later, they followed it up with a number 11 hit, A Little Bit More. And once again, Dr. Hook was back at a comfortable altitude. Their current hit moves up 8 notches this week to number 13. It's titled Sharing the Night Together. Dr. Hook at number 13 on American Top 40, 6th week on the chart with Sharing the Night Together.
American Top 40.
Now, the story of the band whose first chart hit went all the way to the top 5 here in America, but in a British poll was voted the worst record in the history of pop music. Dr. Hook, a band of wild and crazy guys who have scored chart hits with the cover of Rolling Stone, Only 16, and Sharing the Night Together. Well, the very first time Dr. Hook ever charted, they scored with a song called Sylvia's Mother, written by songwriter, poet, storyteller, and Playboy magazine cartoonist Shel Silverstein. Shel had written the song as a satire of popular bubblegum hits. And here in America, the song was appreciated as both a satire and as a pretty good bubblegum song in its own right. But in England, the reaction to the song was total puzzlement, which turned into genuine dislike. And while Sylvia's Mother was hitting the top 5 here in America, across the Atlantic, in a BBC listener poll, it was voted the worst record in the history of pop music. Well, you sure can't please everybody. But Dr. Hook pleased enough people this week to debut in the countdown at number 38 with their latest, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman.
When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch your eyes.
Dr. Hook, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman, at number 38 in our countdown of the 40 biggest hits in the USA as the countdown rolls on.
Casey's Coast to Coast. American Top 40.
This is Casey Kasem, and every week on American Top 40, we tell you what's hot and what's not. Well, now we're up to the hit by the rock band who once appeared on a television interview wearing nothing but their mustaches. The group is Dr. Hook, the guys who first got attention in San Francisco singing songs written by cartoonist and humorist Shel Silverstein. Well, several years ago, the national television system of Denmark was taping an interview with Silverstein on his houseboat near San Francisco. And Shel thought the guys in Dr. Hook should be there too, so he invited them over. Then, halfway through the interview, the members of Dr. Hook began taking off their clothes, until there they sat, going right on with the interview, completely naked. The Danish TV crew didn't even blink. They went right on taping until they were done. Well, Dr. Hook's Ray Sawyer explained to us that the group had taken their clothes off just as a gag, figuring that the Danes had already taped enough usable stuff for a show and that their little joke would simply be edited out. Well, part of the interview was edited out. The first half, where they had their clothes on. And the portion of the interview with Dr. Hook wearing only their birthday suits aired in prime time in Denmark and throughout Scandinavia. And sometime later, when Dr. Hook did a concert tour through Northern Europe, they found they were already stars. To bend an old saw, this was a case of familiarity breeding popularity. This week in the countdown, Dr. Hook's latest hit, recorded fully clothed, moves up 5 notches to number 27. Better Love Next Time.
I'm your friend. Better love next time, baby.
Dr. Hook and their follow-up to When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. Better Love Next Time. It's been on the chart for 4 weeks and is now at number 27. 26 hits to number 1, and we're counting them down.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Well, it's certainly been a long, strange decade for Dr. Hook. The band was formed in Union City, New Jersey, appeared on the cover of the Rolling Stone after hitting with a song of the same name, declared bankruptcy and moved to Nashville, and then came back bigger than ever. And one of their biggest hits came in 1979. At number 46, here's Dr. Hook, Sharing the Night Together.
Together.
One of 17 groups accounting for 22 songs in our special year-end countdown. That was Dr. Hook at number 46 with Sharing the Night Together. I'm Casey Kasem. This is American Top 40. Next, a number one disco and number one soul hit by one of two sister acts in the countdown.
It's from coast to coast.